Welcome to Survival Theory. Today we're going to take a look at what I usually carry in my truck, the EDC for my truck. Whether it's to give me a head start in a bug out situation, or if I run out of gas somewhere, stuck somewhere, can I survive out of my truck? What do I have that's in there that'll get me out of a sticky situation? What do I have to get my vehicle back in service? Things like that. Now, if you need to know exactly what to put in your vehicle, you probably have to go downstairs and ask your mommy. This is just some general ideas and some recommendations, so let's get busy. All right, we'll start with the door here. What I normally carry is my wallet. When I step out of the vehicle, it goes in my pocket. Got the pistol here. When I step out of the vehicle, it goes on my side. A sunglass case with glass cleaner, things like that. Hand sanitizer. I've got a ferro rod sitting in there, a lighter, got a flashlight here, and a pocket knife. It's an old one I've had forever. You got to check those batteries every once in a while. Guide to insects and spiders, guide to reptiles and amphibians. Looks like I've got some jute twine in there. Here on the floorboard, I've got a cooler. This is not always in the truck, but it has been lately. It's not super expensive, but it's pretty good. It's a Titan deep freeze. It's supposed to hold ice for a couple days. Then I've got a Traveler 1500 watt digital power inverter. I can run a laptop, just various small appliances off this. It's got some USB connections as well. That comes in super handy. In the glove compartment, this is my junk drawer. Oh, let's see, hand sanitizers, some sentimental things, some glass cleaners, ice scrapers, extra toothbrush, tire gauge, just your standard glove compartment things. Now on this back door panel, got some binoculars, some gloves, some cold weather gloves, got some hand warmers, foot warmers. Now some seasonal things I take out, but I tend to leave the cold weather gloves and the hand and foot warmers in there. In this other door panel, got some orange marking tape, extra batteries, these are rechargeable, a lighter, extra batteries, got a flashlight here. I guess the batteries are not inside of it right now. And another flashlight, the batteries are not inside of it. More batteries, more batteries. Now this is what the back seat normally looks like. Just gray. I've got this wool moving blanket over everything. It kind of keeps things concealed when I'm out of the truck. It darkens the inside of the truck. Here I just got a box. I got a hat that I often wear. Some first aid. The ham radio. Some bank line. I just bought that. And usually if I just buy something small, it goes in this box until I sort it out. I've got an EDC pouch here. I've got a light that goes into the cigarette lighter, and it stretches out about 12 feet. It's a really bright light. It's a Gold Zero light. These things are pretty awesome. It's magnetic also, so it'll stick to the truck. I've got a battery charger in here. Of course, I can plug it into that inverter. Some spare sunglasses in the case. Got emergency response guidebook on hazardous materials. And I always carry this around. Toilet paper. Got a Teavana mug in here to make tea or coffee or whatever. 5-hour energy matches. Drink flavorings. There's the tea. There's the hot chocolate. Knife, spoon, fork, a steak knife. It's even got a V8 energy in here. Some napkins. here on the floorboard, I've usually got my raincoat, some rain pants, extra water. Under the seat here, I've got drinking cups, fire extinguisher, also the jack and lug nut key is in there. Of course, I got a get home bag ready to go. And of course, I usually carry various books around, like the edible plant book is in the front. Got this hiking and backpacking trails of Texas in the back seat. Good reading material. Normally, I do not have arrows sitting right here, but I do right now. I do always have an umbrella. It's wrapped inside this snake bag. It keeps it quiet from rattling against the window, so I keep it wrapped up. Tactical vest. I've got 2 gallons of water here. And I always carry my field jacket. Got a really good flashlight in there, face mask, various little survival gadgets in the pockets. Of course, I've always got, in the summertime especially, I've always got a good shirt, long sleeve for hot weather. And in the wintertime, of course, I'll have a lot more winter clothing. Certainly don't need that now. It's 98 degrees today. Now back here, I've got a solar charger. This is a Goal Zero, pretty old one. I've got extra clothes back here. Got a little 22 ammo. This is a Israeli gas mask and canister and drinking tube. Just basic car supplies. Of course, I've got my tactical ninja sword. I mean, who doesn't have one of those in their truck? Foolish not to have one. I don't normally have that Henry back there, but I kind of need it this week. I just cleaned my truck out a couple weeks ago and it's already filthy. Of course, I've got my license plate, which should be on the vehicle, but you know how that is. Got a broom. My hiking boots are back here. Oftentimes they're on me, and under this toolbox, these items will actually stay dry. It's pretty neat. Of course, I've got my hiking stick. I've got a grass cutter. These things are great. You get to a campsite, you need to knock down the grass some. Got you a manual lawnmower there. I've got a shovel back here in case I get stuck, or you know, whatever the case may be. I've got some various poles back there. Of course, I've got a case of water. Stays out of the sunlight, but it does get hot. I've got some work boots back here. I usually have a couple cans of off, half full or full, sitting back there. And an old lawn chair that I don't really care about. Kind of sits back here. And there's nothing back here worth stealing, and generally no one ever messes with it. Now here in this locked toolbox on the back, I don't keep anything super valuable that makes this worth breaking into. You know, there's no firearms in here, there's no money, nothing like that. But I do keep a lot of survival items in here and gear that will help keep me on the road or get me back on the road. I've got my 10x10 tarp. I've got some microfiber towels, with webbing. Something very important to get you back on the road, all-purpose inflator. Very important. Some bungee cords. They're camouflaged, of course. Keep my old machete in here. Ooh, that's sharp. Just emergency items. Railvac Sport Safety. It's a flashing red light. I've got several of them. I've got different kinds of tape in here. You know, water strewn about. I've got some safety glasses. I've got some amber safety glasses. Got some red flags. Some N95. Is that what they're... Yeah, N95 dust masks. Shoe glue. I've even got an old army stretcher. It's pretty neat. I hope I never need that. But it could make a good improvised cot. Or even a hammock. And I've got a tarp. All kinds of bungee and tie downs. Extra battery cables. I've got a small extension cord right here. Some fix-a-flat toe straps. The jar, empty. Of course, a socket set. Extra rod and reel with the lure, and there's a couple loose lures back here. A little towel. I've got a kite, a little cheap throwaway kite. You never know. Could be good for signaling. Of course, I keep my axe back here. Some more water. Eye scraper and brush. More battery cables. Oh, there's the extra fishing lures. Got a hacksaw. I've got this bag here. I actually found it on the side of the road. It's a mesh, nylon mesh bag. Hammerhead, standard debris bag. It's got a drawstring on it. This thing's heavy duty, pretty cool. I don't know what its intended use is, but it's a pretty cool bag. Safety vest. Orange, high visibility. This has got some basic tools that I might need for repairs. You know, wrenches, pliers, Allen wrenches, battery cleaner, WD-40, scrub pads. Even got a sharpening stone in here. Screwdrivers, things like that. Also, I keep this foldable fishing net back here. Can come in very handy. Got another towel here. This is my food supply. I've got quite a bit of MREs in here. And when I plan on taking an MRE out on a trip, I select it from here. That way I'm rotating because it gets pretty hot in here. Of course, I've got a little prepping food in here. Here's some 100% whole wheat spaghetti. I've got a freeze-dried meal here, chicken rotel. More MREs. I've got these whole grain cracker sandwiches, and I probably need to go ahead and rotate these by the end of the summer. I've got some canned goods in here as well. Vegetable beef, sweet peas. I've got a jar of peanut butter. I don't have to worry about this going bad. And I actually eat this when I'm on road trips and then just restock. Of course, I've got some alcohol here. 100 uses. Even so far as to trade, if need be. A couple things of water. And you got to have some Ovaltine, you know. If you're stuck without Ovaltine, you're in a pretty bad spot. A couple cans of sardines. So that's my sustenance container. In the summertime, I can't really keep bars and things like that in there. So in the wintertime, this actually changes. But for now, I've got foods that can withstand high temperatures, and I will eat them and rotate them out. Of course, I've got a big roll of super tape here. Big, thick roll. A new can of WD-40. Got a pry bar. Crowbar. I've got a 6-way outlet here. I've even got a dog leash holder that you screw in. This will work for kids too. Here, there's some extra light bulbs for the brake lights, trailer lights, things like that. Of course, being a southern redneck, I've got to have my water boots always ready. And I keep them right there. I often have a small cooler with water strapped to the back. Sometimes I will lock it to the back if that's possible. Of course, up here I like to keep my O-Light rechargeable in the truck, extra knife, and there's an extra magazine. Now, everyone should be carrying a first aid kit in their automobile. This is a basic first aid kit, and by basic I mean it has adhesive bandages, instant cold pack, gloves, safety pins, triangular bandage, antibiotic ointment, wet wipes, antibiotic ointment, I already mentioned that, some mini trauma shears here, eye wash. That's a basic first aid kit. In addition to that, you should also have a trauma kit. Both of these are very important. Now, whether you keep them inside of the first aid kit or in a separate place, you should also carry things for upset stomach, diarrhea, headache, nausea, items like that. So this is a very important item that everybody should carry. Now, some of the things I did not show, which I know are in there, for example, I've got several flares, I've got an old handheld GPS unit. There's just a few odds and ends that I didn't see because they're buried somewhere, but I know they're in there. And this is not a bug out truck per se, in the sense that I'm not ready to bug out because, you know, obviously there's things I'd want to load in here, a lot more things. If I'm bugging out, I'm going to be filled up to the max if I'm bugging out. Now, another consideration for a vehicle is escape and evasion. I've got a hacksaw, crowbar, flat bar. I've got extra locks, so if I bust a lock to get through a gate, I can lock it behind me. That's going to slow someone coming up behind me. Now, I hope to get some bolt cutters pretty soon because those are super handy. So escape and evasion is definitely a consideration. You know, I've got that large tarp to help hide my vehicle if need be. Another consideration is self-defense. You've got a choice of pistols, rifles, bow and arrows. Of course, you should always have knives with you. Of course, check your laws about what you can carry or not carry in your vehicle. I'm fortunate that I'm in Texas. I can pretty much carry anything and just about carry anything on me as well. So that's good. Another important consideration is clothing and footwear. You've got to have the right clothing for the season. If you're driving in a suit or a dress, something happens, you need to be able to get into some comfortable clothing that's appropriate for the season. Keeping in mind it could be much colder at night. You need to have the right footwear that you can hike in, run in, do some long distance traveling in, because you never know what the situation is going to be. And of course, fuel is a vital component of your EDC for your vehicle. If you're always running on empty and something happens, you're already on empty. What do you do? Now, this is not meant to be the be-all, end-all instructional video for vehicle EDC. I'm just sharing with you some of the things that I have, give you some ideas or a starting point. Leave some comments below. Let me know what I can do to improve the situation. Thanks for watching Survival Theory. Please share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. What is it with the jets lately? Are they building an airport here in the forest or something?